Dear colleagues, let us present materials for the conference. The theme for today is improvement of the methods of assessing the influence of external factors on the strengths and weaknesses of the enterprise. As important tool of enterprise management at the stage of strategic planning is to identify and study the available internal and external resources, main opportunities and threats that may have a positive and negative impact. The lack of constant control of the external factors lead to subjectivity in decisions that create significant uncertainty and business risks. We have proposed our own approach for solving the problem of improving the classical SWOT analysis through the formation of a database of indicators, which is determined at the beginning of the study and can always be supplemented and improved. We have also proposed a new stage in technology for determining the weight values and the formation of qualitatively new model of SWOT analysis. This model is to process and analyze the factor of neutral positive and negative effects. The purpose of the study is improvement of existing SWOT analysis for assessing the strengths and weaknesses of the enterprise, its external capabilities and threats through the usage of scientifically sound scales and indicators, which in turn will allow future users to reduce the time for analytical research as well as get quality conclusions and strategies. To achieve the goal, the following tasks are formulated as shown on this slide. As a result of SWOT analysis study, the following steps have been identified. The above-mentioned SWOT analysis does not involve the formation of a database of key factors that may have different degrees of influence in the dynamics and has a number of problems with assessment of neutral factors. A whole group of indicators that need constant monitoring is ignored in this case. We propose to supplement the methodology with new stages and tasks. The main stage of the SWOT analysis include the following 10 stages, which is demonstrated here. Here we show basic mathematical formulas and symbols. Depending on the actions of all the factors, we propose to divide into 3 groups: neutral, strength, and weaknesses. To assess the opportunities, threats of the environment, we calculate the weight value for these groups so that their share was 100%. This slide, we show a list of key factors for assessing the internal environment of the enterprise. It also includes a group and a subgroup of factors. In this slide, we show a list of key factors for assessing the external environment of the enterprise. In slide 9, we show the table of pairwise comparisons by the analytic hierarchy process. At the 10th slide, we calculated normalized value of the weight of internal environment. And at slide 10, we show the calculated normalized values of the weight of environmental indicators. The implementation of the proposed approach to SWOT analysis will be carried out for public partnership Carlsberg Ukraine, one of the largest players in brewing in Ukraine in 2020. The study was conducted on the basis of reporting information of the enterprise and information from different external sources. Systematization and generalization of information on the internal and external environment allowed to identify a list of key factors of influence. Part of the list of these factors you can see on this slide. Then at slides 13 as well as 14, we analyze result of strengths and weaknesses of public partnership Carlsberg Ukraine. It's shown in details on the slides. The result of the calculations allow us to state that the influence of strengths on the internal subsystem of public partnership Carlsberg Ukraine is moderate, and the influence of weaknesses insignificant. It's not about to assess the balance between strengths and weaknesses. Recalculation was performed in a given proportion of weight values by factors of strengths and weaknesses. Since a single scale is used to analyze the influence of internal environment factors. The balance between the action of strengths and weaknesses will be determined by equation, as it's shown. The result IF is 0.3. The obtained indicator shows that the strengths of public partnership Carlsberg-Ukraine outweighed its weaknesses by almost 0.4, in fact 0.3. The company has its own capacity, financial resources, expertise, and capabilities in developing new brands, developed product promotional channels, flexible pricing policy, and wide product differentiation. Weaknesses of the enterprise that weaken the balance include outdated technologies and not profit brands, insufficient funding for development projects, indicator of financial stability. The space matrix has been built based on the values of the balance between strengths and weaknesses, and the balance between opportunities and threats. Thus, based on two values of strategic dimensions, EF and IF, we divided this space into 4 types of strategies: as aggressive, conservative, protective, or competitive. Filling the 4 quadrants at the intersection of strengths, weaknesses, and opportunities, threats will identify and describe 4 types of potential strategies for public company Carlsberg, Ukraine. The analysis of behavioral strategies of public partnership Carlsberg, Ukraine is aimed at improving strengths and eliminating weaknesses through external opportunities. In particular, the formation of new sales channels, expanding opportunities for external financing of enterprise development projects, signing new important contracts, especially in the field of logistics. So, colleagues, having summary of our work, we can conclude following. The proposed SWOT analysis allows us to address the application of this model for continuous monitoring of the enterprise environment. The proposed list of factors can always be supplemented by a market analyst and be adopted. It has been defined that the estimation of weighting factors for more than 20 indicators can only be done through the decomposition of factors in new subsystems. As internal environmental factors, we defined innovation, development, logistics, production, as well as sales and promotions, enterprise finance, personal management, and subsystem of strategies and tactical management. As for the external, 2 subsystem of factors, the intermediate environment and the macro environment. This allowed us to apply the method of pairwise compared by Saati to estimate this weight. So that was the end for today. Thank you so much for your attention.